Hello, everyone. The clip you're about to hear is from one of our exclusive Patreon episodes on a recent horror release, and just like all of our other episodes, it might include major spoilers for said horror release, so don't listen to it if you haven't already seen it. You've officially been warned. And if you'd like to hear the full episode, just head on over to patreon.com/horrorqueers and subscribe today. Without further ado, here is your exclusive Patreon clip. Yeah, and look, I mean, like, both you and I were kind of middle of the road on Freaky. I think, to summarize my thoughts on this versus Freaky, I do think that Freaky is a better, like, produced film. I mean, I'm sure it has a much bigger budget than this film, and I do think the budget does hamper a lot of what McIntyre is able to do with It's a Wonderful Knife.
Okay.
I actually did prefer the, I don't want to say I prefer the comedy, but the humor in It's a Wonderful Knife seemed less self-satisfied than the humor in Freaky did, and I feel like... I think that might be the point of contention with a lot of people, because I know a lot of people really liked the humor in Freaky, but I did get a kind of smugness out of it. I didn't get that in this movie. However, I don't think Tyler McIntyre is quite up to the task of some of these more suspenseful set pieces. I think that he's much better with horror comedy. Like, would you call this movie a horror comedy, Joe?
I think I would, but it also has a fairly generous heaping of heart. You know, there's a lot of people who really buy into the relationship between Winnie and Bernie. And even though I personally found it went to some weird, unexpected places that definitely make it queer horror, but I don't think are particularly earned.
Yes.
I think that there's a sentimentality that is going to endear people to this film.
I agree, and I think that is kind of my issue with it. I don't think the juggling of those tones between, like, the suspense, quote-unquote, of the slasher set pieces with the heart, I agree with you. I don't think it really earns, especially the romance at the end of the film.
No.
But yeah, I kind of wish this film would have picked a lane and stuck with it. Like, and when we get to some of these set pieces, I'll elaborate, but I almost wish it would have had the same tone, that over-the-top, heightened reality tone of Tragedy Girls, because I feel like there's a war here where we're kind of dipping into that, but we're trying to also play it straight with that aforementioned sentimentality where it doesn't all gel by the end of the film for me. So I kind of end this with a shrug as opposed to anything else.
Yeah, it's tricky because I ended up really enjoying a lot of the people in this cast. And I do think that there are certain parts of it that are quite amusing or that made me chuckle. Or even, some of these set pieces I think are effective or they're okay. Like, enough that I'm enjoying myself. But overall, a lot of this just feels half there.
See, and that's the interesting thing for me. So I think that the screenplay works in the set pieces, but the directing fails in the set pieces. But then I don't think Kennedy's script is strong enough in those more human moments, the sentimental moments. And so again, it's not a complete miss for me. I'm just kind of like, I almost wish one of these creators was swapped out for someone else.
Atlas Avenue, a long stretch of road that encompasses everything the city of Kennet Heights has to offer. Neon lights, traffic, crime, the hustle and bustle of everyday life, and the craziest of characters. My office was above it all. My name is James Locke, and I'm a PI.
Hello, Mr. J. How the hell you doing today?
Good, Edith. Nearly every year I have a new case. New people to meet, new clues to discover, and new problems to solve. But I do it the old-fashioned way. No technology. Nothing post-1950. Hell, I don't even listen to podcasts, but you should. Atlas Avenue Beat is a spoof of the film noir genre with goofy characters, tons of wordplay, and non-stop raunchy humor. There's also 3 whole seasons out right now with more on the way. Just search for Atlas Avenue Beat wherever you listen to podcasts or visit us online at bloody.fm.